Now, for each charge of dangerous driving causing bodily harm, Sadu could face up to 10 years in prison, and for dangerous driving causing death, he could face up to 14 years in prison, and he will be in a Saskatchewan courtroom next week. Bill Chow, the president of the SJHL, saying today that the conversations haven't even been had yet on what the next steps are for the team or for the league. But the Humboldt Broncos president did say today that this is a strong and resilient community, and although difficult, they will bounce back. Yes, Chantel, you're absolutely right. For the last couple of hours, really, there's been a steady stream of vehicles into the parking lot here. Behind me, there's a lineup formed to get inside, and people continue to file in, hundreds filing in. Many of them are wearing their Humboldt Broncos jersey, and that's really been the theme all weekend long, is that we are all Broncos. You know, many of those that I spoke with said this is a devastating tragedy that they're trying to cope with, and one thing that's helping them is knowing that they're all in this together. Hours before the vigil even began, hundreds upon hundreds of people began filing in to the Elgar Peterson Arena to honor and remember those who died and to pray for the survivors. Many families will now begin the process of planning a funeral, while many others remain in hospital. All are on a long road to recovery. And I should mention that just over 5% of the health budget is going towards mental health services and supports, and the government says it hopes to increase that to 7% in the future. Chantel, Heather?
All right. Thank you, Ashley.
Well, Heather, there certainly were a lot of factors, but of course the recent cold snap that was felt here in Saskatchewan didn't help in terms of ticket sales. Now, to recap, there were going to be 2 games in February that were going to be outdoors. February 17th, an NHL alumni game, and then the following day, February 18th, a Pats versus Warriors game. Walking through the streets of Saskatoon in 2018, there's really no shortage of support for the LGBTQ community. Everything from business storefronts to schoolyards to even the streets themselves. And according to Tourism Saskatoon, our city even boasts the 2nd largest pride flag in the world. Right now, it's just a shell of a building, but by the end of the year, Bold Growth Inc. hopes to complete construction and get Health Canada's final approval to become a licensed marijuana distributor. So then what are you supposed to do with your soiled rags? Well, according to Battalion Chief Riley, you're supposed to put them in a metal container with a lid, cutting off the oxygen supply. Sawitsky believes that the time capsule is out there somewhere, and he's urging anyone who knows anything to come forward. He says if and when it resurfaces, the village will invite everyone back to celebrate. While Saskatoon Transit says it's always open to suggestions on improving the overall transit experience, it says it's not really considering hiring a celebrity anytime soon. That said, if and when they are, Detition says that if there were an offer on the table, he would humbly accept and do it in a heartbeat. Mayor Perot says now that the city's financial strategy is in its final year, homeowners can expect much smaller increases into the future. Now, depending on the size of the dog and the amount of marijuana ingested, although rare, it actually can be lethal. Dr. Sneed says if you notice any of the symptoms, to bring your pet to a vet immediately. She says that prevention is the best medicine, so simply put, keep your pot away from your pets. CTV News reached out to Correctional Service Canada for an on-camera interview and to film inside the facility. Both requests were denied. However, it did provide an emailed response saying that bullying is not tolerated and management takes the issue, quote, very seriously, and that it is committed to restoring a positive workplace. Ashley Field, CTV News, Saskatoon.